Welcome back to Wake Up America Weekend. A New York City grand jury voted to indict Marine veteran Daniel Penny in the chokehold death of Jordan Neely.
Penny will be arraigned on June 28th on second-degree manslaughter charges. So to continue this conversation, let's bring in retired NYPD Sergeant Anna Serrano and former Milwaukee Sheriff and Newsmax contributor Sheriff David Clarke. Thank you both so much for joining us. Sergeant, I'll start with you. Was this the right decision to make here?
I think it was the wrong decision. It will stop people from actually intervening when people are being attacked on the subway. And it's absolutely wrong. You think that in last year, in 2022, you had Elizabeth Gomes, who was taking the train to go to work, and she was attacked by Wahid Foster, and now she is going to lose her eye. And then last month, in May of 2023, you had Amin Ozoy, who was going to work, and she was pushed in front of a subway, hitting her head, and now she's paralyzed from the neck down. Who's going to intervene? Who's going to want to intervene and try to help people? And with the being persecuted, I think it's the wrong decision.
Sheriff, I think that's a point I've been making, and I agree completely with the sergeant. Police cannot be everywhere, okay? I was law enforcement, you're both law enforcement. It's impossible to have a police officer or a sheriff on every single corner. And you would hope that if someone was being beaten on the street, someone was being attacked, that a good Samaritan would come by and at least help. But this case tells me you're putting yourself at risk of being charged with a crime. So tell me, Sheriff, how does this all play out? He offered up his account of what happened, by the way, before we go. I just want to see, we have Penny offering his own account of what happened. Could we just watch this real fast?
The three main threats that he repeated over and over was, I'm going to kill you, I'm prepared to go to jail for life, and I'm willing to die. I was scared for myself, but I looked around, I saw women and children. He was yelling in their faces, saying these threats. I couldn't just sit still. And then some people say that this was about race, which is absolutely ridiculous. I didn't see a black man threatening passengers.
So, Sheriff, this Marine stepped up because he was in fear for himself and others. Where are we in our country at this point?
Well, we've lost our way. When a person can't defend themselves, a person can't reasonably, under the circumstances, step in and intervene in a situation like this. But as for the criminal indictment, look, indictments are easy to get. I've testified before grand juries. It's not an adversarial process. In other words, the prosecutor comes in before the grand jury and just says, here's what we think we can prove. He doesn't present what Mr. Penny just said there. So the grand jury's not aware of that stuff. That's how easy an indictment is to get in this country. But now trying to prove it beyond a reasonable doubt is a different standard. It's a much higher standard. And I think they're going to have a problem here because they're going to have to, the prosecutor is going to have to put all the people on the stand who were on the car that day, many of them who thanked Mr. Penny afterwards for intervening on their behalf. So this is going to be a very problematic situation, not to mention that the jury Mr. Penny is going to be in front of, they get to bring their experiences on the street, on the subway system into this thing. And I'll tell you what, they know what's going on. They see it every day. Many of them have probably been in that situation on the subway. So that's going to make it very hard beyond a reasonable doubt to get 12 people. And all they have to do is put doubt into the mind of one juror, and in this case, fall apart. So we'll have to wait and see what happens.
Sergeant, you know the subway system well. So does Mayor Eric Adams as well. He knows what goes on there, and he actually broke his silence and appeared to praise the grand jury for indicting Penny after it came down. Now, the mayor said in part, I appreciate DA Bragg conducting a thorough investigation into the death of Jordan Neely. Like I said, when the DA first brought charges, I have the utmost faith that the judicial process and now the grand jury has indicted Daniel Penny, a trial and justice can move forward. Was this the appropriate remarks for the mayor to make here?
Absolutely not. And does he really know the subway system? Because honestly, when he first was elected and he was taking the subway as a little, I don't know, just for publicity, taking the subway on his first day of work. And then as he's riding the subway, he sees two people that are fighting on the on bottom side, and he has a security detail of police officers. But what did he do?
Yeah.
Instead of going down there and breaking it up, what does he do? He goes on the phone and calls 911 as he's being recorded. Oh, look at me. I'm calling the police so that they could come and break up this fight instead of actually going down there. And
it's a shame that he didn't actually interact. Sergeant, I'm sorry that we have to cut you off. Sergeant Anna Serrano and Sheriff David Clarke, we do have a hideout here, so I have to let you go, but thank you so much for joining us. You're watching Wake Up America Weekend, only on Newsmax. Stick with us.